streaming on my end.
Yeah. But yeah, it's basically like yeah, because once I clear off like both this and Vesperia.
All right, it should
No,
be
this
live.
this and Destiny. I'd like to do Vesperia and then finish that fight, and then I'll see what I do after that.
I think
So
I'm
like,
probably gonna alternate 2D, 3D for a bit. So after Fantasia, I'll do Symphonia, which I mean makes sense considering.
Yeah, I think
everything.
that's actually probably a good idea. Like my original plan was like I was gonna do the Team Symphonia trilogy, so to speak, but switching up is also fine. Maybe I'll do Fantasia between Vesperia. And
I do
something
think
else.
I'm going to try out the Super Nintendo version of Fantasia up until you get the manual ring just to see what it's like. But I'm kind of not looking forward to it. I accidentally, the last time I started playing that game, I accidentally turned off the manual mode because I didn't realize, like, if you bump select, I think it switches between the modes. And I was just like, oh, I forgot what this feels like.
Yeah, I'm like curious. I'm curious to specifically play this Super Nintendo version just to also compare it to Star Ocean because I was like, well, this is the successor to it.
Yeah.
Are you started up on your end?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm streaming.
Okay.
We can start.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
In a minute. So far my new controller, which cost $20.
I'm gonna be honest. When you did say how much your new controller cost, I gritted my teeth and was like, "Oh, best of luck with that. We'll see."
Yeah, I'm like, this is not. I was like, I am making a budget decision because I want a controller now when my finances aren't exactly the best.
Yeah, no, we've all been there.
If it's responsive, it'll be fine for the short term, and then because I didn't want to drop like $60 on a new DualShock 4.
Mel B, like my finances aren't the best because I'm inventing this new submersible vessel, and this will be at the forefront.
We'll just tell Red, yeah, we're trying to do Thunderbirds before you.
Just to like get the experience, proper journalistic integrity.
It's his time to shine.
Okay.
On the party space, do you want to switch up who you're playing?
I haven't been. Who have I not been? You know what? I haven't been Natalia in a minute. I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't seen it. Oh no, the wrong guy on the field. Like, I have Natalia there. We'll put. I'm gonna play Luke just so I can see. Try out this like a setup.
It helps if I post that we're streaming. I should do that. There we go.
Oh yeah, you probably should do that. You can just like report to my skeet.
No, I had one drafted. Literally, all I had to do was hit post. I just forgot to hit post before we started.
Yeah, I'm gonna just to like break in my new controller. I'm gonna try Luke just to see like how the comboing feels because that's the thing that like
Luke feels.
That's the thing we've been like. Yeah, I think that's the thing we've talked about like basically since the beginning is that like I felt like there's been something where the game feels clunky and like it's dropping inputs. And I wasn't sure what it was. But in recent like the past like month or so, I had issues with my controller, my DualShock 4 in playing Ridge Racer. And I also when I played like I started playing Zone of the Enders 2 last night and I had issues there. And I'm like, I think it's just the controller. I might actually have a better time switching to a different controller.
Oh, how are you liking Zoe 2?
I played one stage and I stopped playing because I was like, I need to get my new controller.
Did you skip one?
This is terrible. Yes.
Oh. I think it's worth listen, it's not great. I think it's worth a playthrough.
I'll go.
I do actually think that there is some fuck, what's the free run button again? Is it yeah, there we go. There is some minor interesting design decisions that they do with collateral damage in Zone of the Enders 1 that they just do not attempt with in 2.
Interesting. Yeah, so the main reason I'm playing Zoe 2 specifically is the game club I told you about that doing with some friends.
Oh,
that was the game you chose.
If it helps, one is like 5 hours. It is
I know it's like
short.
So it's not like a.
No, that is one of the best action games on the PS2, though. I love Zoe 2 so much.
It so far seems cool. It's just like weird, you know, like getting used to like the up and down controls, which makes sense.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you get. I understand the reason, but also I'm like, okay.
Everyone watch me and my friend Johnson's very hard mode double S rank playthrough of Zone of the Enders Second Runner. It's a good time.
Nice.
I might actually have the only S rank hard mode playthrough of Zone of the Enders 1 on YouTube still. Because I know
Really?
at the time when I made my Let's Play, I couldn't find any footage of people doing the hardest difficulty with the best ranking. And I was like, surely someone has this up somewhere, and I could not fucking find it. And I was like, I guess I'll do it then. It's not that like, it's not really that much different than, like, the second hardest difficulty. So, like, I get why people maybe didn't do it. But it was kind of weird just being like, oh, I guess I'll pave this ground.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have my. I don't have the the spreadsheet open for the fawns. That's fine for now.
I didn't even notice that chest.
There's part of me I was like, there's definitely something around here, and then I noticed it was the chest. So I was like, how do we do this?
Do you have to burn it?
That'd be funny. Mew, you're known for burning forest, right?
True.
Thinking about how like the plot of like that first arc where we killed the mom was like Ultraman Core.
Yeah, a
You
little
don't have
bit.
to understand. We do have to kill the wild animal for our satisfaction. Through no fault of his own.
It was immune. Actually, I'm curious. Well, actually, she doesn't have physical arts really in that way, does she? Now that I'm thinking
I don't know
about
if she
it.
does. I think maybe she has a few like arrow based arts, but I feel like I'm.
Damn, she can get some pretty consistent damage up if you just let her volley unopposed.
I gotta be
Ooh.
I do feel like sometimes I think there's a bit of a lag between there's a bit of input lag, but we'll see. In the battle specifically, like on the map, it seems to be fine, presumably because there's less going on. Why don't we get these chests? I wonder.
Do you have to... Okay, I was about to ask if from that angle you have to do it, but yeah, no idea.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll unlock an Animal Crossing-esque axe later.
Yeah.
There is a interesting thing in Fantasia where you have a party member early on that you then get again way later in the game, but he's super underleveled, and I was like, well, why the fuck am I going to use him? Then they do a really good thing where every time you sleep at an inn, you get a scene of him training really hard because he feels incompetent and like he needs to catch up to everyone else, and it speed levels him.
That's cool.
It's really fun.
I love stuff like that.
No,
Really cool
it's
things
neat.
in RPGs.
Honestly, I've been thoroughly... I am shocked that people don't talk about Fantasia in the same breath of, like, the other big SNES JRPGs a little bit. Like,
I have to assume a lot of that is just because a lot of the oxygen is taken up by the ones we got.
yeah, I think that's it.
Like you know how much like there's a lot of like I think are like obviously it's changing, but I feel like there's a lot of like the cultural footprint of a certain generation of YouTuber tastemakers is shaped by a particular subset of fans who grew up on the Super Nintendo in the US specifically.
Yeah, well, I mean, I also too like the people that still call it Final Fantasy 3. You know what I mean? Like they're not going back to play the new translated shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because like that's always been my thing with when people are like, oh, RPGs are really like cliche and unexperimental, and I'm just like, we just didn't get the weird ones out here that like played with the form. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and maybe the weirdness is why we didn't get them, unfortunately.
Yeah, actually. Like FF5, just being like, oh no, the job system's yucky, Americans won't get it. Oh, that's a sick
Yeah,
design.
Americans wouldn't understand an RPG where you have different classes.
True. And you could change them. Ooh,
Yeah.
wouldn't get it. I really enjoy. Let's beat it to death with pow hammers.
Okay.
Fuck, what was I saying? My thing with
Fuck,
Fantasia.
I'm stupid.
Damn.
Okay, I gotta be smarter.
Yo, that was sick.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting input lag for sure.
Damn.
I hope I didn't spend $20 on like a useless thing when I could have spent more money on like a good thing. You know what? I think.
There. Let's get that on you.
Thank you.
Wow, that was just in time. And then here, let's heal you up too.
also,
if you stay
like-
under it, it just can't do shit.
Much like a real horse.
Oh no, French.
Don't actually try that.
Claire Obscura. Yo, now is the time to bump out that Mystic Art IMO.
Oh yeah, I gotta do that. Oh wait, how do I do it again?
Overlimit and then do a level 2 art that then you hold X during the final hit. So just like perform your level 2 art and then start holding down X is how I was doing it last time. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. I love the anime cut-ins.
I love how I
So
remembered that.
You're a real pro gamer.
Well, because the last time I was just like, I don't feel like we're doing this enough.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
There's a lot of like the mechanics we just like. We were like, oh, we'll get to it later, and then it was like getting later. And like, wait, we should actually engage with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting lag on my inputs. I definitely need to try this with a different game later, just to say like. Oh! I didn't even need to do that. Hell yeah! I got kicked by a horse.
This horse doesn't fuck with me at all. It's great.
Must be nice being the ranged attacker here.
Oh shit, I needed to aim that. Oh, I walked right into that because I'm stupid. There we go. Let's go.
Oh, hell yeah.
Let's go. I missed!
Jade is dead.
Yeah.
This horse... Jesus Christ, this horse.
Oh, I'm still in Circulus confirm mode. Let's, do we do not have a life bottle, do we?
We do.
Oh,
we do
yes,
6.
we do.
I need to fucking get away so we don't use more life bottles. Jade,
Oh, I don't have enough TP. Fuck me. Okay.
fuck. I need for myself to pop a lemon.
I'm going to pop an apple on.
We need to
myself.
fucking get more life bottles later.
That shit expensive.
Fuck! I'm stupid.
And-
I dropped my guard at the worst time.
let's do this again. And then, hold on, I need to double check my arts, because I keep healing.
Yeah,
okay.
can you check mine too?
There you go.
I just want to see which. Oh wait, no, you have to scroll because you're the one who starts the movie. Are any of I just want to know if any of them have the wind. Oh wait, oh no,
I
hold
don't
on,
think
let me look
so.
this. Maybe on my spreadsheet. Actually, this is stupid. Why would I? I was like, oh man, this is just like ATB. The way I'm like, we're in these
There we
menus
go.
in the entire fight.
Let's go. Okay. God
Fuck.
damn it, here. Okay.
I'm gonna die here.
Not if we heal you.
Oh, Tyr is dead.
Yeah. Here, but first, let's... Wait, can I not use it on you?
Oh, do you not have item throw?
Perhaps not. What I can do... For this...
I'm dead.
Shit, okay.
We're getting owned by this unicorn. Oh my god.
Okay. Here, hold on. I have a plan. So what I need to do is do this.
I hope we don't have any other... I hope we get like a...
Now... Hold on. I'm going to heal you.
Yeah.
If I don't get fucked. Okay, and now... We heal Tyr.
Yeah, Tyr somebody's gonna... Tyr is also probably needs TP after this too.
And then I'm going to heal Tyr.
Fuck!
Shit.
So, I think we... I hope we don't have any more hard fights after this, but hold on, wait. Tyr needs one of these.
She doesn't have a revive, does she?
We'll see.
Shit. Oh, I'm fucked.
Oh,
Yeah.
you ride me. Fuck.
Yeah, okay. Pop a magic lens, honestly. Oh, you can't.
Oh, wait, hold on. Fuck!
I'm just curious how close to the end we are.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you can't have that much more. Okay, no. If you want to try to revive me, I think I can live.
Yeah. Use up all of our life balls on this fucking unicorn. Fuck!
Okay.
Wasted the life bottle! That's the new, Kodaka game.
Okay, now...
Fuck, I missed!
That's fine. We... Shit. We're so close.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get out of the way.
Breaking my... Yeah!
There we go.
Broke my policy of using not, free running just to live.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that's a good policy. I think this game kind of requires it. Like that charge attack, you just need to get out of the way. There's no point in blocking that.
Yeah, I feel like that was a case where I was like, okay, I just need to like survive. I've mostly been doing fine without it. It was just like this case, I was like, Jesus Christ.
I feel like I got a lot more effective when I started employing it. I don't know. This game is too 3D for me to restrict myself using it. Like, I feel especially like a lot of the bosses are designed around drawing aggro away from spreading everyone out, too.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, we got black-pilled unicorn here.
This is a cool unicorn design, though. I like it.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it.
I wish the unicorn in Fantasia was cooler. Well, actually, no, sorry, Pegasus. The Pegasus I'm thinking of. Unicorn's neat. Yeah, there's a part in Fantasia where you get to fly on a Pegasus and do combat, and you can tell it was not given the same amount of love and attention as, like, the main combat system, because you only do it for one part, and it's like, ah, geez.
I'm so curious how the idea of, like, fighting on a horseback in, like, a 2D setting sounds neat, but I also think it's obviously very hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of becomes like horizontal shmup controls with really awkward swings instead of shooting.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it doesn't last too long. Like, it's just kind of a gimmick segment.
Jodan. I'm joking. It's just a joke. It's a little joke.
I do think it's funny that Tales of Fantasia is the second RPG I've played that makes jokes about being able to or not being able to. This is a Kingdom Hearts store.
Yeah, it was the one we went to before, where it's like they killed the world, the town.
Yeah. No, Tales of Fantasia is the second RPG I've played that, like, has fun with the idea of being able to or not being able to get near a unicorn because of virginity. Because there's an Ultima game where if you can't approach the unicorn, your party members make fun of you. And then in Tales of Fantasia, there's a character that's like, oh, I should not be around for this, and then temporarily leaves the party.
I think there's a joke like that in Suikoden 2 as well.
It seems like the obvious one to make. I gotta play Suikoden. I know people... Yeah. I keep seeing very divided opinion on how that remaster looks. I'm just kind of like, this looks like a typical modern HD remaster of a sprite-based game. But
yeah, that's how I feel. That's how the Lunar one looks too.
I do agree with the common sentiment that I do feel like one thing remastered RPGs like that have an issue with is, like, the backgrounds and the main sprites often don't feel like they're oh shoot, sorry, my headphones disconnected. Don't feel like they're, like, meshing well together. Like, they don't feel as, like, cohesive as the original versions do.
Yeah.
That's actually one thing I think the Romance and Saga remasters do pretty well, but...
Yeah, I've been, like... One thing I feel like, even though I modded the graphics for the Pixel remaster of FF6 I played, I also feel like it still doesn't look... Fuck. Hold on.
We did it. Over 2,000 years.
That's like if Jesus saw those fly off. Listen, we killed enough monsters so far. What's a few more?
True.
Was this a green one or a...
I think that's a green one.
I hope it's a green one. It's, like, really bad right now, our health situation.
Looks like it.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh my god.
I want to play.
Me with the game advantage is me. That's good game design.
I want to play those Lunar games at some point. They always seem neat.
Yeah.
I am bummed that they seem to be mostly based off the old script.
Yeah.
I've seen some real Robotech ass discourse about.
Yeah.
I don't fucking get it.
It's so funny and predictable that the anti-localization crowd are boo-hooing the toning down of the working designs-ness of the script that's still like foundationally still working designs.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, this just shows that you're full of shit. Like, obviously you were, but like, you're like praising the original localization, which is like obviously the most inaccurate. But just because this one is like more quote unquote woke, it's like, oh, you took out the R slur.
Yeah.
Because that's like the game the current the podcast that covers RPGs is doing, Lunar One. Part of the coverage is like we're keeping track of all of the really obnoxious out of pocket localization decisions that Victor Ireland put in the game.
I gotta say, that dude has the most Duncan Idaho ass real person name. Every time I see it, I'm like, what a last name. I have also seen before, because I think we've been talking a little bit in the group chat ever since we had that discussion about Gun Parade March. I've been looking more into like that guy's stuff that he did at Alpha System, including Elemental Gunvolt or whatever it's called, Elemental Gearbolt, yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently the old English release had a buyer's guide for PlayStation 1 light guns in the back.
Yeah.
And like there was one that was like just known for being really bad quality, and they were like, oh, you're all sorts of slurs if you choose to buy this one over the other options on the market. And I'm like, what a weird thing to put in the back of your fucking game manual.
Yeah. Like one thing they notice is like the there's like a lot of PMS jokes in Looter and also the strategy guide.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
what a character.
It's like one of those things where it feels like on one hand it seems like they probably get earned goodwill by like putting more effort in than other companies at the time and also releasing it as like a premium product, so you got like all these goodies, and that earns them goodwill even though they're like, well, objectively there's a lot of problems and fucked upness with this translation. Hopefully we can make the land safe again as they kill monsters.
You have to hit me on that big button.
You know what? Maybe that is it.
I knew it.
Oh shit. They call that resonance.
I'm also thinking after Fantasia, maybe I dive back to a childhood classic of mine, which was Legend of Dragoon. I've been thinking about that game a lot. It is such a funny cultural artifact of like being a really big budget game at the time, totally cashing in on FF7, and I feel like leaving, like, it kind of feels like the James Cameron's Avatar of video games, or specifically of RPGs.
I get that argument. Like the way I hear it is like it came out, it was cashing in on the hype of FF7, but left like no cultural footprint other than people have nostalgia for it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like that is a perfectly like solid, totally fine RPG of its time with some nice polish to it because Sony money, obviously. Has the coolest pause menu theme I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, really?
Yes. It's like this really chill, like, drum and bass like sometimes shows up on those like chill vibes PS1
Yeah.
YouTube playlists.
I know Battletoads is a pretty crunchy, fun pause menu theme.
Yeah.
It also is Battletoads.
That's a game I've not touched in a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, like I forgot I mentioned this. I think I got distracted, but I think I was like obviously I want to like progress through the different Tales games and like think about what to do next. But also I'm like, well, I also want to play Star Ocean 2.
Same. At some point I do want to play Star Ocean stuff.
I wish. I think given like the combat system.
I see what we have to.
We got one of these puzzles.
Now you hit the one on the right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, I look at people playing Star Ocean 2, and I'm like, there isn't any reason this couldn't have had co-op. I think it's a missed opportunity. I also don't know which version I want to play. Like, I want to play both PS1 version and the new version.
I think I'm just gonna go all in on the remake for that one.
It's like on one hand, I'm like I kind of vibe with the low poly aesthetic of the like I like the old aesthetic of the new one, and the new one no, I like the old aesthetic of the old one, PS1, but the new one also looks good.
Yeah.
But also like there's a lot of like good there's a lot of like nice additions mechanically to the new one that seems cool, but also it's like they give you like instead of like the hidden stuff. That's like, oh, you find the cool stuff through discovery. They give you like a checklist for everything in the new version, and so I'm kind of like, maybe it's fun to just like do one playthrough on the PS1 version and then do like a more completionist version with New Game Plus.
It's got that Majora's Mask 3DS energy to it.
Yeah,
it's actually.
I'm like,
that is one remake I feel like just a complete fucking hypocrite on, because I get why people do not like the changes that version makes, but I'm also like, I don't give that much of a shit.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna play the N64 versions of those games, but also
I would for the first time through. But when people talk about specifically the changes to the boss battles in the Majora's Mask remake, I'm like, I was never playing these games for the fucking boss fights. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, the thing I don't know enough about Majora's Mask time, but the thing that made me go like I think like I'd want to play the N64 version is the fact that like the Zora mask has a stamina bar for swimming. I'm like, well, I want the mobility that's fun.
I think my big thing is I just don't think the 3DS. I think the 3DS graphics are in this weird middle spot of being like too much better without being better enough to justify the loss in like the weird low draw distance, foggy, gloomy nature that game has. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it is definitely the 3DS 3D has an interesting aesthetic all its own.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it other than like it's like well, I guess it's like it feels like in the middle ground between PSP and Vita, which I guess makes sense.
Yeah, I like how Ocarina of Time 3D looks. I think it's just Majora's Mask. I'm just like, nah, this needs to look like unsettlingly odd.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's a.
You know what you should do, and I've done this. I could help you set this up. Is you should try out the highly configurable PC recompilation ports of the N64 games.
Yeah.
I got that set up for Ocarina of Time. I'm like, this is cool. Like, if I ever replay those games, I'm definitely going to go with those versions.
Still checking. Seems like a good trade-off.
Yeah, it's only 5 points.
And then, what's... None of these seem worthwhile.
You can just stick with it for now.
That definitely feels better, though.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, let me see... Who needs it more?
Probably Tier. I feel like we use Tier more often.
Tier needs more. Tier needs it more. Okay.
Skyward Sword's okay. I think it's my least favorite 3D Zelda, but it's all right. I think my issue with Skyward Sword is I just don't care about the motion control thing. I was kind of over it by the time that game came out, and when it was re-released, I'm like, I'm still over it. I know there are still people that are like gyro control sickos for games like Splatoon and stuff, and I'm just like, I don't want to do this ever. Just give me buttons and sticks.
I'm like, I like the options.
I was an avid Wii FPS player back in the day too, but
That's funny.
yeah.
My thing is, I wish they'd use the good technology to like, what's it? Make light-gun games viable.
They
It's
definitely did that for the Wii a little bit. Like, I mean, the Wii was definitely that Renaissance era for light gun stuff again,
Yeah.
and I wish the Switch carried that on, because it.
Yeah,
really
I haven't.
didn't.
Well, probably, presumably, because the company's remakes are bad. But like, what's his face? The company that remade House of the Dead 2, or
Yeah.
House of the Dead. I'm like, I don't know how that actually plays. But also, I didn't like the Panzer Dragoon remake, so you know.
Damn.
But I am curious how House of the Dead plays on a fucking Switch with gyro controls or something like that.
Those Resident
like-
Evil light gun games they made for the Wii and then later ported to PlayStation were fucking sick.
Wait a minute.
We got 3 levels worth to deal with. And that middle one.
No,
is going to change both.
I did these.
Yeah, but it changes.
Yeah, I undid them.
Yeah,
Okay.
it goes through the floor.
Okay.
And I'm assuming the top ones are also going to go down and hit the bottom ones
So this is
too.
gonna be really annoying real quickly.
Yeah, I do actually like the writing in Skyward Sword a fair bit. I think Demise is actually a really killer villain.
Fun.
True. Oh, that doesn't reach all the way to the bottom, so it's just the bottom 2 we gotta worry about.
Hold on, how is this gonna work?
So that's gonna undo the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on, how is this gonna...
Does the one... Does that one at the bottom there affect the one at the top? Like on the second floor. Try it out real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's the meta.
So that's how we... Yeah,
There we go.
perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck, I was gonna say something about Zelda. I need to get back to Tears of the Kingdom, but at this point I'm just gonna wait for that Switch 2, like, upgrade version. I feel like a criminal. Have I told you about my Switch 2 pre-order adventures?
No, because you have not, and I have not bothered myself with the Switch 2 stuff.
So...
You may notice that from the pack I ordered $20 controller.
yeah, no, that makes sense. When the Switch 2 pre-orders went up for the UK, I was like, I've ordered shit from Amazon UK before. So I just put in a pre-order for a UK Switch.
Yeah.
And unlike other Americans that ordered, whoever it was going through for me did not cancel on me. So I'm like, well, fuck. I guess I have a UK Switch coming in. And then they announced that the tariffs were not, in fact, going to affect the console's price. And I was like, well, fuck, I don't want to get, like, a stupid power converter for my wall. So let me try getting an American one. And then I managed to get an American pre-order, no issue. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to cancel this UK one. So I did that. But I'm just like, damn, everyone's having issues pre-ordering these things. I got 2 without any hassle. The one thing I will say that was like I didn't feel great about is that I ordered mine through, I think it was through Walmart. Yeah, it was through Walmart. But when they first went up, I was in the virtual queue and it's like, oh, keep this page up to hold your place in line. And then Wario64 like posted a thing like, hey, if you like reload right now and just like try to add it to your card again, you just skip the line. And I went, huh. So I opened a new tab and did that, and sure enough, it just let you skip the line. And I was like, well, I feel bad for everyone who's just trusting the website right now. That kind of sucks. So
How we get this shit?
there's got to be some way to get that treasure chest.
Yeah. Yeah.
How could we get over there? By flying through the air or something? We probably have to go over somewhere. Or
Well, what it is like we go over here. Like I know what we have to do. We have to somehow unlock this door, but I don't know how.
oh, wait, go click on that door real quick. Maybe it'll give us a hint or something.
There's this fan here.
Do we need to first put the... Do we need to first turn the fan so that it hits that fan through this open doorway?
Yeah, let me just see.
Is that even a thing you can turn?
No. But also, like, when I... When I turn this off, that closes the wind here.
I'll go. Yeah, go back through. Maybe it opens it up on the other side. What's to the right, actually? Like, in that other room.
It was where we kind of where we came. Maybe we'll just leave it like this for now. Let's see. There might be other steps for a minute. We don't need to. We just...
No, because I'm curious where this is going through.
This is basically like we're backtracking now. Like this is where we just were.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Yeah, like I think we hit everything.
On the subject of the Switch too, I was thinking just like with respect to like light guns, the fact that like this new Joy-Cons can have mouse functionality is like, well, there's potential there.
Yeah. I do want to save up at some point this year to get the Sinden light gun things. I know they're allegedly a massive pain in the ass to set up, but it seems like once you get those working right, they're really fucking cool. So, yeah, do we go over here at all? Oh, we can't.
No, we can't.
Never mind.
The main thing we do is we change whatever this is here. But I don't know what that means for us.
You should save just to be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to download that Unworking Designs Elemental Gearbolt
Me too.
patch and then play that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I went down a rabbit hole with that guy's shared universe of a game series, quote unquote, and it's wild.
I'd like to. Actually, I'll let you continue. I'll let you go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's unfortunate that a dude seemed to become a massive shithead later on.
Oh.
But hey, sometimes when you're making a mobile game about what if guys were cool, what if guys were personified historical Japanese swords, maybe you shouldn't call you and your fan base the Greater Asia Co-Prosperity Sphere of Gaming.
I didn't even know that's what happened. Wait, he did Token Rambu?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Or he was a writer on it, I should say. And they kept having to make statements like, what he's doing doesn't represent us as, like, a game. But then also they did do a quote-unquote... They did a thing where they were like, oh yeah, we're going to collaborate with real-life locations. Also, the first collaboration we're doing is with a shrine that has a bunch of memorials for people that were tried as war criminals during World War II. So
I shouldn't even be surprised the Token Rambu is the Hitler game.
it seems like a bad time.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to play Gunfight March a lot because it seems like this is doing something mechanically interesting with its like narrative stuff.
Yeah. The
Look, I'm just
way
like I
the
want to know
way
what's
that
going
I
on under the
learned
hood.
it ties in with Elemental Gearbolt is fucking bananas.
It's one of those things where I'm like, if I just want to like try getting better at Japanese by like playing games in Japanese, would it be too much of a deep end to dive into? And probably, but maybe something I could work up to.
My opinion on Switch 2 keycards. I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of past the point of caring that much. I'm getting most of my games digitally these days anyways, and if I am getting them physically, it's like I kind of want the package on my shelf because I think it looks neat. I'm kind of at the point in my life where I own too many physical games, and I'm just like, I don't care anymore. But yeah, I don't
I think the
know.
only thing is,
It's a lot of space.
I wish the Switch 2 was more affordable because I'm like at the point where like, I think my Switch battery dies really really fast when I just leave it unplugged,
Yeah.
and I'm like, well, I don't know when this happened, but it'd be nice to replace it with something that actually has battery life.
No, that's fair.
But also, it's really dreadful for the price.
It's pricey. It's honestly more than I thought it would be. But also, considering the world, I shouldn't be too surprised.
Yeah, I'm just also like, damn, it's real $599 energy.
See, here's the thing, though. It's on track to apparently be the best-selling console ever already. So, like...
The Switch 2?
Yes. Like, there was an article coming out that... let's see. Let me see if I can find it.
I feel like the thing I keep seeing is that like every time the Switch is like within striking distance of the PS2, Sony finds a new 10,000 PS2s that they had actually sold to keep boosting the numbers up.
Yeah. I can't find this article anymore just looking through Google News, but I did see a thing that was saying, like, numbers in for Switch 2 pre-orders already are looking like it's gonna be, like, high. Oh yeah, Bloomberg predicts 6 to 8 million Switch 2s will be sold at launch, making it the most successful selling console launch of all time, if accurate.
That's crazy.
I mean, yeah, I think
I was like, I thought they'd be punished for hubris, but I guess not.
I mean, I think it comes down to people really like the Switch, and they're like, "Fuck yeah, more Switch."
I guess it probably helps that like Switch 2 is like a thing that's like, well, this is obviously the new thing.
Yeah. Switch 1 is about to outsell the DS. That's wild to me. But you know what though? Actually, how long did the DS last? Because DS was around for a while.
It's kind of wild. Like, I don't think anyone predicted how well the DS would do when it came out.
No. God. I feel like such a great amount of nostalgia. I'm so sad that my OG, like, fat DS is broken now because, like, God, that thing was a mood. I have a Lite that is better in every way that has replaced it, but, like, damn.
I only ever had the Lite myself. I never had the OG.
I had the OG and like like the clamp broke on it like last year when I pulled it out. But I replaced it with a Japanese DS Lite. That's the Final Fantasy XII Revenant Wings one.
Yeah.
Which looks really cool. But
that's a RTS game, right?
Yes. It's not great. I will admit.
I think it's interesting they tried, but I'm also like, that's fascinating.
They did that. There's a Mana game that's like an RTS.
Yeah, I was thinking like if I could think of two Squaresoft RPGs that got DS RTS spin-offs, that I have two names.
And people didn't like either of them. I think it was honest to God one of those things where they're like, hey, this is kind of like a mouse cursor if you think about it. Let's try it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I see how you get there.
Yeah.
I think I'm due for a Final Fantasy 12 replay soon.
I need to play that game the first time.
I think I have a in defense of Vaughn, and to a lesser extent Pinello, just because I feel like she doesn't get as much shit. Video essay in me if I wanted to. People are such a dick to that main character. And he's fine. In fact, I'd say he's more than fine. I think he's a great character all on his own. But
yeah, I'm thinking like, well, I main reason I haven't started another Final Fantasy game is like, well, I need to finish 6.
I think you're so close on 6, you should just wrap that one up first before.
Yeah. I feel like I need to just watch a YouTube video to remind myself of what happened up to where I was.
Every RPG should do the thing that the GBA, at the very least the GBA Pokemon, I don't know if the DS ones carried this over, Pokemon games started to do, where it's like, here's the last 5 big things you did, flashback, when you turn on the game.
Every RPG should do the thing that Sonic Adventure 2 did, where it goes, hey, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog! Hey, I'm Luke Von Faber. I did a war crime, and now I'm not a real person, it turns out.
One meme format that will always kill me is when people recreate the Sonic Adventure 2 opening crawl cutscenes with the way too loud music and the very slowly scrolling text.
It's always so weird to me whenever I hear this say, let's go to Sheridan, because I'm like, oh yeah, the college in the GTA.
I'm going to be in Toronto in July. For less days this time. Which I don't know if the fact that our company travel budget seems to get smaller every year should worry me.
The fact that like I've just been like taking months/years long gaps between games I'm in the middle of that I want to finish does mean I'm like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Like, it feels bad to like start over again, but also I'm like, I don't remember.
You should be like me with Xenogears and just keep restarting.
Yeah, even though you're like 2 hours from the end.
Yeah, don't rub it in. Don't remind me.
It's the funniest thing ever. I think people overstated how long it took to actually finish that part of the game, because I remember I did it pretty fast. I feel like I did like half the time they usually say it is.
You know, one thing that I'm always like, I wonder if they would ever do this, and I don't think they will, but it would be fucking funny, is if they did Xenogears as their next big HD 2D and tried to like actually complete the game.
That's what people talk about, and I'm like, that'd be fun, but also, come on.
I also think it would be extremely funny if they don't get Takahashi back. Like, what a weird end result that would be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it'd be fun if they got Monolith involved to help with it.
Yeah. That would be the only, frankly, that'd be the only way I'd want to see them do that.
Yeah. But it does mean it's exclusive to the Switch too.
Oh yeah.
Which does make me wonder if like did Square would even bother at that point, you know?
Well, if Bravely Default remastered for exclusively Switch 2, what a joke. That is so ridiculous. It's fucking Bravely Default. There's no way that cannot run on the Switch 1 too. You know what I mean? Will Xenosaga ever get a remaster? I have a feeling at this point, probably not. I think the time has passed. Ah, yes, I remember this field.
I like how we just corded off into the gender.
Yeah, I was about to say.
This is weird to me, because, like, Tyr and Luke are the ones who have the special connection in this place. Why aren't they having it together?
The clipping is so real.
Last time I was here, I brought Luke. Remember, every Tales game needs to have the one female character who can't cook.
True.
Don't you love this joke? It's a subversion of traditional feminine roles. Well, we have a new recipe.
Thank you, Laura.
Was
That
there
is
something in
true.
chat?
That is a fast way to get a wife. Yeah.
What was the comment?
Minty Wyvern posting, my personality is that I can't cook. Now when do I get a wife?
See, the thing is that works for girls looking for other girls, but not for men looking for women. See, when it's a girl, it's like, oh, you're a girl failure, which is charming. But if you're a man, you're just like, well, you just suck and are misogynist, probably.
Oh no, that board's gonna catch up.
I like how he stopped and turned around. He's like, no, I'm actually.
Yeah,
I'm
Laura
actually
does
gonna
point
run
out she is a girl looking for a girl. Women, hit me up.
away. Respect.
Best of luck, Laura.
We're back on the field. All right. All right, I'm gonna switch it up. Play with Jade. I'm gonna put Guy back in.
Put me in as Guy.
Where the fuck is Sheridan again?
I was on that list.
Port Sheridan, and meanwhile we are.
Oh wait, are you playing as
Okay.
Guy or?
No.
Oh, put me in as Guy.
Put me in, coach. Insert podcast joke here. I think we have to just find our ship again. There it is. What, did you see that?
See what?
The ship was like a flat texture that popped back up into being not flat when we got close to it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, video games, you know.
I know. I just think it was charming, just seeing like, oh, that's how the sausage is made, huh? How do I get up?
I just figured we can't go over that. Oh, well, we can go down, so maybe we can go up.
Maybe maybe we just can't fly right now. Oh yeah, we can't fly right now. I think is the thing, right?
I don't remember. Yeah, awesome game, but runs like garbage on Switch 1 is unfortunately a lot of Switch 1 games. I'm not gonna lie, my Switch has been kind of collecting dust, especially after I got a Steam Deck, where I'm just like, well, I don't
have a Steam Deck. Theoretically, I should get one, but most like I do probably want to. How to get out of this shit? Nurse. No, hold on. Help. How to get out? How to get out?
Do you have to be in the water?
Do I have to go to the port?
Or that?
Yeah. Theoretically, a Steam Deck to be something I should get, probably, but also I'm like, well, at this point I probably would prioritize getting a Switch 2 over a Steam Deck, maybe. But yeah, my Switch has been collecting dust, but I also have games on there I want to finish.
I think deep down my issue with all of these hybrid handheld consoles is I'm only ever going to play them docked because I just record everything I play.
It's funny because I'm the opposite, where I'm like, I almost exclusively played them handheld, but also I'm like, well, that does mean these are games I'm not recording. No. Well, I guess you get to be Luke for now.
I had to click back into the window. Yeah, I don't blame you. I feel like the luckiest person in the planet who I've never had any Switch Joy-Con issues. I think I'm the only person. But also part of that is probably because I play it docked all the time.
Yeah, my Joy-Cons are drifted. Well, they drifted. I had my friend fix them up, and then they started being busted again the next day. And I was like, well, I guess I'll get a Horipad. Anyway, back to Sheridan.
I do need to play that Thousand Year Door remake.
I should play the Thousand Year Door remake and also the Superstar Legend of Seven Stars RPG one.
I bought that and I also need to play that. I'm not the biggest Mario RPG fan, but I feel like part of that is because I grew up with Paper Mario.
Yeah.
Like, Paper Mario 64 gotta still be my favorite Mario RPG. Like that game a lot.
It's a cool game.
Yeah. Thousand Year Door also cool. Super Paper Mario, I'm like, you're starting to lose me, but it's alright for what it is. I wish it was an actual RPG. Yeah, I know people like Origami King, and I gave it a shot, but I'm still just like, I'm not feeling these.
We're going into the core.
Yeah, I'm really... It cheeses me off that Mario and Luigi kind of overtook the turn-based, like, Mario combat, so then Paper Mario had to, like, transform into something different so there wasn't overlap, and then Mario and Luigi fucking died.
I mean, it came back, but...
Yeah.
I do want to play, like, the next few... I played Superstar Saga, and I played Paper Mario 64, so I want to play 7 Stars, and then, like, the next couple of both series. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
I think my thing with Mario and Luigi is I just don't like them as much.
I did like Superstar Saga a fair bit, so
that's the best one in my opinion.
I mostly want to play Bowser's Inside Story. That one seems like the other good one people like.
I just could never get into that one. Partners in Time, I was like, this is okay, but it's not really what I want.
I've heard people are like kind of whatever on Partners in Time.
Yeah.
But I'm still curious.
Damn, your cousin stole it.
That's a good question. Cheap viewers on streambo.com remove the space at JC98TX1Y.
That was the question.
That was a comment.
Oh.
It's kind of funny, like, we're gonna save the world by, like, pushing it underground.
Yeah.
The continent. Well, it's either we lower the continents gently, or they'll fall, and that'll be bad.
Oh, what if everything's underground? Isn't that... It's like nothing's underground.
So true. And then Gurren Lagann happens.
Yeah.
I guess, I'm sleepy. Oh.
Damn.
I'm EP. I have to watch 2 more episodes of Ultraman still.
Nah, I need to watch 3.
Oh, you know.
I don't know if we got anything here that's yeah.
Yeah. You know what? You know what you need?
What?
Health things.
Oh yeah.
That's equipment. No. It's armor. Okay, no. So I think I have to go somewhere else for armor.
Yeah.
No, this entire place is armor stuff. Never mind.
Aren't the items and consumable or yeah, aren't the items and equipment shops usually separate?
Usually.
Ugh. I need to get back to reading Muv-Luv too.
They made a Muv-Luv too?
True.
Yeah, I should. Now that I'm off school, I'm like fully eyes.
Talk to Tira.
Big in
Here's
my
what she has
plate.
to say here. Huh.
This reminds me of like, oh yeah, personal actions is a thing in Star Ocean at school. That one experience one day.
Well, that was an epic Big Zam joke, I bet, in the original Japanese.
Yeah. You know, it probably was. One thing. What was the thing I was gonna say?
Someone says if you already killed the first sword dancer, kill the second one while you still can.
Where the no, we didn't do that.
I don't even know who the first sword dancer is.
It's Sword Dance is a secret boss.
Oh.
But we had to find it, and then you have to each time you like fail to beat it the first time, find it. If you fail to find it, then you lock yourself off from beating it later.
No.
It's like that in Symphonia too.
Gonna be honest, I don't. The idea of a bonus boss in this game just doesn't sound appealing to me. A little bit.
I mean, you know, it's an RPG with a combat system, so it'll be there for some people.
Yeah, it's a shame about that combat system.
Oh, you know, not everyone feels that way. What was the thing I was gonna say? Oh yeah, just like, you know, I'm like, I have so many things I want to like check off and finish, and I'm like, I gotta like figure out like a plan of attack for it, you know. It's like, well, I gotta finish Battle Network, I gotta finish Shenmue, etc., etc.
I feel like Shenmue is rapidly falling into that like Half-Life 2 category for me. It's like I get why people like this and why it's like kind of important, but like I don't know if I care. I might just never get around to it at this point.
I'm in the middle of it, that's why I want to finish it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the thing about Shenmue 3 is that instead of like being smart about it, it was like, oh, this is actually we're sticking to the original 16 entry plan that maybe
yeah,
you should drop.
Maybe you should be realistic about things.
Yeah, especially if you had to crowdfund the existence of a third entry.
Yeah, fuck. Where is
Maybe there is no item shop here.
Yeah, maybe we should just go to the end.
I need to adjust how I'm sitting because the way that the sun is coming through the blinds now is starting to bother me. The lighting on this scene is really nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be able to crowdfund another Shenmue game, I'm going to be real. I think that was a one-trick pony.
Yeah, especially after the way that was received.
Yeah, I think people are kind of done.
I also feel like people didn't care for the mechanical changes of this one, too.
I don't know anyone that liked Shenmue 3. Yeah, I think it was...
He still has not found
I mean,
Spinoza.
aren't there? Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't there a lot of people that are also even kind of like, Shenmue 1 was kind of cooking more than 2. I don't actually know that much about
I
how
don't know
people feel
either.
about 1 versus 2, but
I don't actually know.
I think the realistic thing is I know that they're very different things. I think the entire audience that would have been interested in that have kind of just been subsumed into the people that are playing Yakuza now.
Yeah, almost like I feel it's one of those weird things where I feel like people seem to either overstate and understate slash or like the similarities between Shenmue and Yakuza.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where, oh, this is a really nice shot.
Yeah.
Um,
Hold on a second.
wow. You taking a screenshot? Yeah.
Yes.
I don't blame you. I think it's one of those things where the way that they're meaningfully different actually are very important from like game design critique standpoint. But I think in terms of normal person playing video game,
Yeah.
they're more similar than they are different. And I think it's also a case of people probably latch onto Yakuza's style of doing it more than Shenmue's.
Yeah. Like Yakuza, I think it's just like he doesn't have like the Majora's Mask thing going on,
Yeah.
but also it's like I guess it's like more streamlined in a way.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Is I think I have a feeling the vast majority of people playing don't actually care about that versus just like the feeling of being in the play. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah,
sense of
I think it's
immersion.
fun that the original two Shenmues had the Virtua Fighter combat system, kind of.
Yeah. No, that is neat.
Which obviously Yakuza does not. That's going for more of a beat 'em up thing.
Yeah. I'll get back to that first Yakuza at some point. It was neat.
That one has like fixed camera angles, right?
Yeah. I didn't mind it, honestly. The dub is funny as hell.
Yeah. Man, this entire section looks really cool. Just lighting.
No, yeah, this is really pretty looking. This game's always had like an interesting like kind of bloom thing going on, but like using it for this morning scene is really good. I love the shadows and the lighting here. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm just gonna save a bunch of screenshots. Like I'm just like it just looks good. They don't make them like this anymore.
True. Hi, Digital Devil Girl. We're appreciating PS2 era lighting and cinematography.
Actually, on that tangential note to the person's name, how do you feel about the Raito remaster?
Shockingly, maybe the most competent looking Atlas re-release in a while. Them taking Raito 1 and just going, yeah, we're just gonna make it Raito 2's combat system is maybe the smartest goddamn idea they've ever had in their life.
Okay, I was unsure. Like I know people presumably were like 2 feels better, or they would make that change, but also I'm like
improved.
And also, like, sometimes it's like, how much is this just like quality of lifing the original game out of the existence kind of thing?
It's fine because that first game is boring as shit. So,
okay.
It's maybe it's not the worst, but like, I think you would be hard pressed to find someone that really swears by the Raito 1 combat system. It's bland as hell.
Yeah. If that's like everyone just like gets like more better and fun, then you know.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely a difference between like quality of life, quote unquote, is taking the friction out of the game, and quality of life is well, actually now the game's fun.
Yeah. Like that first game, like Raito 1 felt like a test for what they wanted to do, and Raito 2 felt a lot more realized.
Yeah. That's how usually people talk about Suikoden 1 and 2.
I am also waiting for Digital Devil Saga 1 and 2.
I want to play those a lot.
Those games are maybe the best PS2 RPGs ever made. I think.
More than FF10?
Oh yeah. They're they're just like, hey, we want to do FF10 too. I can't say that because FF10 2 exists.
Yes, yes.
But,
I was like figuring out how to make that joke.
yeah.
Um, that's like me going back to my nice.
I would play
Safer.
Nocturne before DDS though. I do think that is.
Yeah, yeah. I
adds.
that's the thing I've had in my head because I know we've talked about this before. The thing I meant to say was I forgot. I distracted myself from saying it, but I was like, after like presumably I finish FF6, it's like what Final Fantasy I want to play, and like there's options on my mind. Because like I'd like to play FF1, so I can play Strangers of Paradise.
You can do FF1 like a week if you really want to.
Yeah. I'd like to play FF10 too.
That game's a banger.
I'd like to play 12 at some point. And also I've been thinking like I should play Saga. So like, well, now I want to play FF2 as well.
Hey, if you really want a game you can crank out in a week, that first Saga's fun. All three of those first Saga games were designed to be played like while commuting and during an airplane trip. So
yeah, I figured like they look too short enough. I guess like those first few well, not letting Snave SMH.
Laura's begging you in my chat to play Strangers of Paradise.
I need to play it. Yeah, I've been thinking.
I
lately,
would play FF1 before you play Strangers of Paradise, though.
Yeah, that's the plan, obviously. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Just something in my brain was like, I should get Saga built.
Saga's fantastic. You should play FF1. You should try it out. It's a little basic, but you know sometimes you just want vanilla ice cream. But also, yes, too, Laura, I also sometimes just think of endgame DDS2 cutscenes and start crying.
But yeah, DDS 1 and 2 obviously high on my list of things I want to play.
DDS 1 Loki has one of my favorite plot reveals of all time that I cannot say.
Nice.
Like, there's just a really good cutscene where a character points something out about the setting, and I went, oh, fuck. I wasn't thinking on that level before. Are we FF2 fans here? I am low-key a little bit of... I think FF2 is fine. I think people maybe glaze the Emperor a little too much, and I think its reputation as the cool story one is maybe doing a disservice to FF3 a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but
I have not played those games, but I think Armor Red liked too.
Yeah, I really don't. I think it's the worst dungeon design of the 3 NES games. And I think I like Xand from 3 a lot, and I feel like the way people talk about the Emperor from FF2 being the one really good 8-bit Final Fantasy villain is maybe a little over-exaggerated. But
yeah, the way people do just seem on and off dismissive of those first 3 games. And like one is like either seen as basic or classic and breezy. 2 is either seen as like really annoying, or if you're a Saga fan, like, oh, this is like the Saga Zero, and then 3 is kind of usually dismissed as like prototype FF5 and worse. So
yeah, 3 definitely has that reputation. See, my thing with the dungeon design of 2 is I cannot stand. Oh, you had the audacity to go through this door. Now we're putting you in the hell closet with the turbo high random encounter design until you walk out again.
No, like they're putting me in the hell closet. Oh,
I cannot stand it.
I gotta play fucking Etrian Odyssey.
I need to play more Etrian too.
Yeah, I like to play Etrian Odyssey through as well.
I do have the weird mental hurdle of associating Etrian Odyssey with a bad ex, but I need to get over it.
I get it.
Yeah.
There's a show I've been meaning to watch that we might start watching again soon that I associated with, an ex, so I'm like, well, it's been long enough. I should check this out the list.
You got the full Brady Bunch squares.
I've been thinking like when I get Saga Pelt, I'm like, oh, I should make people my party members.
Yeah.
I can do that.
You have 4 characters to work with, so choose wisely.
Yeah, well, I have Etrian Odyssey for other people.
See, Wizardry is actually the best because you're gonna get like 20 people, and half of them are probably going to die permanently forever.
If I did Etrian Odyssey Nuzlocke run, that's what I could do too.
Jesus Christ! See, I need to like I am curious for Etrian heads how many people by the end of the game they have, because you can create more than just the 5 if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, you can make it a whole bunch, but just like do you rotate them out?
But I feel like most people I know that play them usually just stick to one core party. I don't know.
Presumably it's just like makes more sense resource wise.
Yeah,
and
like I think it's just a lot of time for people otherwise.
Which does make it annoying when it's like we have this entire. When I think the first game has like we have some unlockable classes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, that's a dungeon crawler classic.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the last time. I can't tell you the last time I've played a run of Wizardry 1 where I got the best class. It's so fucking hard to get. Nice. You need to hit stat requirements, but also sometimes your stats like don't want to level up that way. It's a problem.
What happened? Oh no, I went into town accidentally. Oh yeah, I meant to ask you because it came up on Alarm Longfire. People were talking about wizardry.
Yeah,
in the context of
I listened to that.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, Brad's told me about the different versions of wizardry, and I forgot which one he recommended.
Oh, do you want the recap?
Yes, please. That's what I was actually asking about.
Okay,
right
so you have several options. Actually, you have a lot of options, but
that makes sense. that's the issue.
So I do think if you really, really want the historical experience, it's not the worst idea to download like on some abandonware site, or just even, I mean, a lot of them let you play it in browser. Just try out the OG. Okay. Just to be like, oh, this is what it was like on the ground floor. That game saves and reloads after... You cannot save scum that game. Every decision you make is permanent because the save happens in real time on the game.
This is the Dark Souls of classic PC RPGs.
So true. You can technically back up your thing and then reload it, but like...
That's a pain in the ass.
It's a pain in the ass to do. So you're kind of committed to your decisions. From there, the NES version / Famicom version does have a lot of cultural cache. It's also rebalanced, and they redid some of the later floors.
This is the NES?
Yes, for the NES, the OG 8-bit like home console port. I don't think it's very good, but also there's, in particular in Japan, a lot of people have nostalgia for it, and you'll see it referenced sometimes and stuff. Then the PS1 version actually comes before the Super Famicom version. A lot of people don't realize.
That's weird.
Yes. It's because the Super Famicom version was a special re-release of the PlayStation version, which I believe was limited to like a magazine release.
That's wild.
It's like not... I don't believe it was like a widely released game. It was released like shockingly late into the 90s, if I recall too.
I mean, the crazy thing I think it was like, oh, why did they release 3C776 in like 1999?
Yeah, it was kind of like that too, where it's like a limited release thing. So the PlayStation version, in my opinion, has my favorite soundtrack and aesthetics. It does have a weird issue on emulator I've never been able to solve, and I have seen in other YouTube videos where sometimes the textures for the hidden doors will just pop through the walls when you're walking past. Which is a little bit of a bummer, but it's whatever. Because, I mean, like, realistically, you're probably just going to be knocking up against every wall anyways, so it's like...
Yeah.
You probably would have found them anyways after a bit. it does add an auto map on the left shoulder button, which some people are kind of bummed out by. What the Super Famicom version does is it changes. So in the original version of the game, you had no in-game map, right? You had a spell.
There's like the Etrian Odyssey thing of, oh, you gotta draw it
Yes,
on a page of paper.
And specifically, you had a level 1 spell that gave you 3 coordinates in terms of dungeon depth and then X and Y coordinate from where you were on the grid.
Yeah.
And it cost like one of your level 1 spell charges to use that. So like there was a cost to figuring out where you were on the XYZ axis of the world. What the Super Famicom version does, even though I think it looks a little less nice, or it looks a little more generic and less atmospheric, in my opinion, than the PS1 release. It still looks pretty good. They change how that spell works, so instead of giving you a coordinate, even though the game has like a built-in auto map, they get rid of the auto map, and that spell becomes the auto map. So you cast that spell to pull up the in-game map, which is kind of a cool middle ground.
Okay.
So there's still a cost to it. You're not getting a map for free, but you're also not having to do it by hand either, using coordinates. And I think on paper, game design, big brain wise, that version of the game is cooking the most. Okay. However, in terms of soundtrack and visual identity, I really like that PS1 version, so that's just the one I stick to these days.
I think I need to also see them side by side, just so you say it, because you're saying this the Super Famicom version is like based on the PS4 version. It just fascinates me.
Yeah. They don't look too similar, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they're named the same, and it's definitely like, oh, this was based on the PS1 release. And they worked backwards. Then there's the modern remake, which honestly, for most normal people, I'd probably recommend. But you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm also like I should. The other games in the genre I should try, like obviously, I'm sure Tear Delight, SMT 1 and 2.
Yeah, SMT 1
also,
still one of my favorite games, in spite of everything.
And also, Phantasy Star 1 also I should try. Probably the Switch version, because that's the one people like.
Yeah, no, the Phantasy Star 1 Switch seems neat.
Yeah. For Phantasy Star, I'm sure I'll just like, there's the one Phantasy Star 1 to 4 normal mapping where it's like, here's the way to play it, and I'm like, well, I'll probably do that.
Those Sega Ages re-releases seemed like they put so much love and care in, and it seemed like...
Well, yeah, it's M2.
Yeah, and I don't know if they always sold the greatest, which is such a crime.
Yeah, what was I gonna say? I want to play the Breath of Fire games too. Those aren't first-person.
Well, hey, I have good news about 4.
Yeah.
What a weird drop out of nowhere.
I mostly want to play 2, 3, and 4, and also 5 because it seems like a weird game. People describe 1 as like not worth it.
I don't know too much about Breath of Fire other than, is it Dragon Quarter people like a lot?
Dragon Quarter is like the weird one. That's the one, like a roguelike kind of thing. Like there's a run thing going on.
Oh, okay.
Which seems fascinating. People really like the...
4 Dragon Quarter? I don't remember. I think
Dragon
4
Quarter is 5 on the PS2.
Okay, I think 4 is the one I'm thinking of then.
People like 3 and 4, and like 2 has a good reputation, but also is like had a notoriously terrible translation.
I can't explain to you why, but for the longest time, I always confused Brandish and Breath of Fire, neither of which I have played.
Yeah. Man, it's got more bloom than Wind Waker on the Wii U.
True. I still need to play that version of that game, like more. Or beat it, I should say.
I've never played it.
That is another re-release where I get why people don't like how that remaster looks, and I'm just kind of like, I don't really have a strong preference between either one of these. I don't feel.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I actually don't know how people feel about the Twilight Princess versions. Though I guess also too people have less care about the visual identity of that game.
Yeah. I think the other thing I was gonna say is that I know that Nippon Ichi has like their own Etrian Odyssey clone, and I'm curious how that is because it feels like they're like, what if we took our disguise sensibilities?
Oh, are those the Labyrinth of Refrain and
Yes.
Yeah, no, people love those. I've heard nothing but great things from my dungeon.
That's good to
crawler
hear.
builder
I feel like
friends.
I want to play Eastern Odyssey first, and just know it was riffing off of. Obviously, which is itself, which is the root. But
Yeah, I need to become more Elman Age pilled. I've played a bit of the first one, but there are other games in that series that I also want to try out.
what's that? What series?
Elman Age, which is like a pretty direct wizardry clone.
Interesting.
They got a bunch of re-releases for like 3DS and PSP and stuff. At some point, I should also probably play Class of Heroes, which are just reskinned wizardry games. But
oh, it's funny. Japan just kept making their own wizardry games.
Yeah, well, so the company that made Class of Heroes made Wizardry Exith, and then if I recall, they made like the Operation Tokyo, like Operation a bit or whatever the fuck those games are called.
Operation Tokyo.
Yeah, it's like
I guess
stuff
it
like
is
that.
SMT.
But like their whole gimmick is basically making like over and over again, like what if Wizardry but modern.
Yeah.
And I think Class of Heroes also falls under that camp somewhere. I used to remember better how all these studios related, but there's a lot of weird crossover and splintering and teams dividing, but basically making different versions of the same spin-off of the same wizardry idea.
Yeah.
When you start to look into it and how they're all related.
I'm so curious, like, what first-person dungeon design is. I technically started that Toho clone as an SMT game clone.
Oh yeah.
I should play that more.
I mean, I think the answer is a lot of it just comes down to making it interesting to get lost and feel tight on resources.
Yeah, I'm also just thinking, like, is there like puzzles and mechanics you put in the dungeon as well?
It depends on the game. I feel like for most classic games, no. Beyond like teleportation mazes and tiles that fuck with you and like hazards, but not only puzzles.
Oh, that reminds me as well. Madame Monogatari, I'd like to play those.
They're so far away from that table.
It's a long table too.
Yeah.
If they want to keep the distance. Looking at like the history of the Madame Monogatari games is weird because I got into it because like it was compile and went weirdly into compile shooters last year. But it's like they released for the first Madame Monogatari game is like there's like the three episodes of like different ages of Arl, but they released a prototype of the second one first. It's kind of like a demo. But also there's a whole bunch of remakes, specifically the first chapter.
Oh.
There weren't like remakes of like they had like a second trilogy kind of thing, but didn't remake them completely either. It's a mess. Also, for some reason, the PC-98 version of the first game is like weirdly more graphic and bloody. And also for whatever reason, the IP of Madame Monogatari is separate from the Puyo Puyo one, which Sega owns along with all the characters from Madame Monogatari.
You know. I didn't know that Puyo Puyo was a spin-off of those for the longest time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like
Compile
any of them
was like
came out over here, I don't believe, so...
No.
The fucking painting of her above his head is so fucking funny.
Yeah. He didn't take it down or anything.
No. Yes.
ば上で明日謁見の間にて改めて話をする。
叔父上、信じています。
失礼いたします。陛下。
How will the king respond?
How will the king respond?
時間を空けた方が揉めるんじゃないか。
そうだよ。大英士がまた何か企んでくるよ、絶対。でも、陛下は迷ってらしたわ。ルークとナタリアの言葉、きっと届いていると思う。
陛下の中でもう答えは出ているでしょう。認めるためには
I need to crack my neck.
All right, let's place our bets.
そのために
Positive or negative development upcoming?
Positive or negative what?
Development.
訪れている。
I'm assuming positive.
分かってもらえれば、きっと。
まあ明日には分かることです。今信じてみましょう。ランバルディア王家の器量をね。
Think you'll be like, oh, deep down I do care. We'll see. Could go either way.
Actually, wait, where's the stairs this way?
No, the music is deeply ominous here.
Yeah. I wonder how far along for the end we are now. I think we still need to get to the third act, probably.
I do have the Game FAQ's table of contents open up because I was curious earlier. And we are on part U of Act 2.
Part U.
Yes, of A through Z.
Jesus fucking Christ. I guess we're getting near the end of Act 2 then.
Yeah.
That's nice, at least.
We have 5 areas according to this guide.
But also an area could be anything.
Yeah. This game does have, I would say, more eccentric pacing than Fantasia does.
I'm
叔父上、きっと分かってくれるよな。
I'm not sure how this compares to the Symphonia, to be honest, because it's been a bit.
それがわからないお父様ではないはず。
I feel like us taking the extended breaks between sessions also probably
Yes.
leading to
Yes,
a weirder
that's-
feeling.
That's probably like more than anything.
Yeah.
もはやモースも関係ありません。何としても説得いたしますわ。
Jade should be like, we should just kill that guy.
ともかく陛下にお会いしましょう。
I do feel ever since we went to the underground though, this game has, I don't want to say meandered, but I do feel like it's been a little odd how I feel like this part of the game could have been a little more abbreviated or a little bit quicker paced than what it has
Yeah, that's
been.
probably fair.
Because like it kind of feels like we're going from place to place now and like doing the adventuring stuff and solving the problem, but I also almost wished like either there was more complex stuff going on with the plot to give us more to noodle as we do the adventuring, or maybe
These guys are pondering the orb.
they are. Or maybe just make this part a little bit quicker along so that we can get to the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
big development, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to remember like. I think there was a bit more forward momentum in Act 2 of Symphonia for like reasons.
Like it feels like it's been a minute since we've seen Van. You know?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I don't know. The last sessions we had that encounter with him, but
Yeah.
I wish he was more of an active presence, I guess, than he has been.
もしもインゴベルト王が強攻策に出てきたらどうするつもり？
いや、説得する。なんとしても。だが、陛下が簡単
Is that Colosseum in the background?
その時は
Is that what that is?
命をかけて。
ナタリア。
愚かでしたわ、私。アクゼルスや戦争の前線へ行き、苦しんでいる人々を助けることが私 私の仕事だと思っていました。でも違いましたのね。お父様のそばでお父様が誤った道に進むのを諌めることが私のなすべきことだったのですわ。ナタリア、やっぱりあなたはこの国の王女なのね。そうありたいと思いますわ、心から。
そちらの書状、確かに目を通した。
Oh, well, yeah.
第六布石に読まれたスコアとそちらの主張は食い違うようだが。
スコアはもう役に立ちません。私が生まれたことでスコアを狂い始めました。
レプリカか。
お父様、もはやスコア
Do you think there's going to be like a big grand reveal about some outside entity that created the score to control humankind right at the end?
I feel like if there was, I would have heard about it.
That makes sense too.
It feels like one of those things where like people would always talk about it.
Yeah, kind of like the Necron FF9 situation.
Yes, like I haven't played that game, but I know about it.
Yeah, everyone fucking knows about Necron.
この時のために
That-
Noblest of
speaking of Final
League.
Fantasy villains that people talk about that I get mildly irritated about, even though it's not that big of a deal.
あぐらをかいて贅沢に暮らすことが王家の務めで
Yeah,
ござい
fuck Sephiroth.
True. No, my stance on Necron is I think people take it too seriously. I think it's a fun little thematic
マルクトと平和
capstone to the game and also a cute little nod to classic Final Fantasy's tendency to pull out a big alien weirdo from nowhere right at the end. I think it's all supposed to be done in good fun and doesn't really have a massive negative impact at the game, which is otherwise over at that point. It's just kind of a good, fun final battle. But people are like, oh, this bullshit comes from nowhere. And it's like, yeah, that's why it's great.
You people cynicizing it too much.
I think they get too caught up on, like, oh, there was no build-up or foreshadowing to this. And it's really not that... People are thinking about it on, like, a plot and narrative level in a way that I think they need to think of it more in, like, an abstract thematic level. That, like, it's not as serious as I think people want it to be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 9 is another one I gotta play.
9 is one of my favorite RPGs ever made. This is my favorite Final Fantasy by far.
Yeah, it's like so many options of what to play, which I guess is similar with the Tales problem.
お父様のそばで17年間育てられました。私はこの国とお父様を愛するがゆえに、マルクトとの平和と
You've played FF7, right?
交換を望んでいるの
Yep,
That's what I thought.
that was my first. I played it in 2020.
Oh, that's right.
よかろう。
You gotta get to Dirge of
Alright.
Cerberus.
Do I?
No. You really don't. You really don't. I begged for Dirge of Cerberus for Christmas one year. Then I got it, and I returned it for another game.
黙れ。あれほどなどと苦労するな。
It's not very good.
Yeah. Yeah. It was funny. I managed to beat FF7 in time for remake. And then I didn't get far in remake.
I really fucking love that remake. That remake was a pleasant surprise. I went into that I went into that remake fully expecting to be a hater brain, especially after the demo did a little bit of like changing in a way that I was like, I don't like this. And then I was pleasantly surprised, and I was like, okay, maybe modern Final Fantasy can not be absolutely.
Did you play
dog shit.
Rebirth yet?
No, I still need to get to it. I keep saying I'm gonna replay Crisis Core before that, and then I just
Yeah.
keep not doing that. But
I've seen divided opinions.
same. I feel like all my FF head friends are very split on Rebirth, so I still
like, I
don't
was,
know
like-
the ending. So
Like I remember Mapping Circle seems to be negative on the game, but like my action RPG friends are like more positive of the game. But they're also like more positive on like Kingdom Hearts generally as well too. So I think it's also like a divide in sensibilities there.
I think that is their. I've been very negative, I would say, from 13 on. The action RPG combat design of Final Fantasy, especially the mainline games, but even stuff like Type 0, I'm really not a fan of. I think Remake is the first one I've played in that style where I'm like, oh, I think you finally cracked it to make this feel really good all the way through. Because like 13, I want to
play the 13 games too, because it seems like they seem like interesting and unique, and like because it's still more in the turn-based space-ish,
kind of,
rather than being like a full. It's like they seem fascinating, and I want to give them a shot.
13, I'm mostly positive on. I do think there are stretches of that game that the combat system is more of a hindrance than a boon. 13-2 I actually like a lot. Like 13-2 is my favorite like game of that trilogy. I really did not like Lightning Returns. Which I feel like I'm an outlier on these days, but oh my god, I just do not like playing that game.
Nice. New title.
Yeah, 13 I definitely feel like has that opinion where like I'm definitely probably of that mainline opinion of that where it's like, oh, once the game opens up it feels really good, but even then like there's some stuff about that combat system I'm just like, oh, I don't know, it's weird and I don't always feel like it's tuned exactly right.
Yeah.
But
I had a desire to want to do all the super extra stuff in 10, but it's also a lot of work.
It's a lot. I don't know if I've
because
ever
I did those bosses in 7 and 8.
Yeah.
But I do in 10 because there's a lot of it.
It's a lot more annoying. I think I've done all the Dark Aeon stuff like once maybe, and I don't think I've ever done it again.
I'd like to do it once, but maybe not on the Switch file I have. Maybe another time. And I shouldn't use it as like my reason to not do 10-2, which is why I really want to do.
10-2 is a game where doing everything is a little bit of a pain, but 10-2 is a video game. I like it a lot.
I definitely need to play it. It definitely seems my vibe.
I like the bad ending more than I like the real ending.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 10-2 seems like an ill hit for me. I just gotta like actually take the time to like do it.
Mm-hmm. I need to get back to 11.
I don't think I'm ever playing 11.
No, that's fair.
I'm just not MMO brained.
I think you need to be a particular type of person to like 11, and I happen to be that type of person.
Well, at most I probably want to try like 12 and Xenoblade to be like, well, this is what MMO combat feels like without the MMO-ness.
So here's my thing, is I feel like with FF11, it appeals to me because I'm not an MMO guy, and that's because it's pre-World of Warcraft. And I think
that's true.
Because I'm gonna be honest, my experience from 14 and just even more other modern MMO stuff I've dabbled in, I don't think I'm an MMO guy, but I do think I am open to the idea of big RPG in like a shared world like that.
Yeah.
I just don't know if like the role-based, like raid-based type thing that like
basically
14 does is my thing.
You don't necessarily fuck with like how World of Warcraft changed the entire genre to be World of Warcraft clones.
Yeah, I think that's my
I wonder if you'd fuck with Ultima Online then.
I did. I played that when I was younger. Not a lot, but I did.
I heard there are people who got really into making bread in that game.
I'd believe it.
I don't understand how that happens, but like it fascinates me.
I played that when I was very young, and I did not really know what I was doing, but I had a lot of fun with it for like a summer or so.
Yeah. I was intellectually interested if like World of Warcraft and its ilk was like a successor to RTS gameplay because of Warcraft 3. And its hero units, or if it was a successor to like CRPGs. And the answer may be a bit of both, because there may be more overlap in how those games are controlled, because the PC games are just like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially like Neverwinter Nights and stuff was big even before WoW, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, like Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter's Night, and all that stuff.
Neverwinter Nights is something I feel like if I really had more time, I could fuck with. Especially like all the fan-made stuff for that, which is just recreating other like.
I don't know anything
about
about Neverwinter Nights other than it's like just from another D&D CRPG from that same source studio.
Yeah, it's like very archaic and definitely feels like it's the MMO for people that are really deep in the tabletop shit, which like kind of is about what I would be, but I don't know.
I also know that Icewind Dale exists, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
I definitely need to give like CRPGs a shot.
Yeah, I know. I think Red and I both said you should try out Pillars 1. It feels like a good spot.
I mean, definitely, I want to play Disco and Pentiment.
Yeah.
But other than that,
those are also very different.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing, right? Like, I definitely want to play those, but they're also not representative.
When people say Disco Elysium is a CRPG, I'm like, you're not wrong, but like,
you're not wrong, but it's also not what people mean.
Yeah, it's. I almost feel like it's its own style of adventure game with very heavy RPG elements, you know.
It's like I say to someone, "Hey, I think I'm interested in fighting games. Do you recommend it?" And they're like, "Well, so have you ever played Melee?"
Kinda, yeah. It's allowed to hang, but it's different. It's not indicative of the broader. Now, granted, oh boy, do I sure wish we had more games like Disco Elysium. But
yeah, and also my vibe is like Disco is probably more like a traditional one than like Pentiment is.
Yeah,
because Pentiment I assume Pentiment I actually assumed was a point and click for a long time.
I mean, yeah, that's honestly the thing with Disco is in a lot of ways it is an adventure game with stats and dice rolls to check to see if you're allowed to say certain dialogue options.
Is it fair to me to say there we go, got the skit. Is it fair for me to say that Saga games are kind of like Japanese CRPGs?
I wouldn't say so.
Okay.
I think they're definitely influenced by them, but I also it really feels a lot like my opinion of how those games work has always been like it's almost like someone took a look at Final Fantasy and went, "Hey, what if we actually maybe some of these stats and status effects and things in the game are underutilized.
Yeah.
What if we did the work to flesh all these out and also make it so that you have a little bit less control over how your characters progress and grow, and you're kind of forced to be more adaptive on the fly instead of like having a build that you cultivate over a long time."
Yeah, I think the reason I thought that was like my impression of like CRPGs is they're more sandboxy, more systems-based stuff under the hood.
Yeah, but they're also for build sickos, and I feel like Saga is almost Saga is a little bit anti-build in the sense that you can have really sick builds, it might not last long, and you kind of need to wrangle the characters into like it's almost like they're constantly like forcing you to adapt to like, hey, your character's like this now. Oh, you didn't want him to be like that? Well, sucks to suck. You're gonna have to deal with it. Which is fun. A lot of people don't like them for that reason, but I
think it's fun that like it's not the same because it's not randomized. But I think it's fun. This game has like the glimmer. The Tales games have the glimmer a bit.
Oh, or like where you learn stuff as
like you like when you learn the move, you like you use it instead of
Yeah, no, that it's really fun. I always am a big fan for that. No, like Saga is one of those things where it feels like it's made by people that got really mad that, like, it's not viable to go through, say, like, the original Final Fantasies trying to poison all the bosses. Like, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
His
name is Kawazu. You can say his name.
Well, I mean, yeah. But it's not just Kawazu. Like, he didn't work on Saga 3, for example, but he is...
Yeah, that's true. People always talk about that as the most Final Fantasy-esque one, but I don't know if that's true.
I think it is. It's definitely the one that you can feel that Kawazu isn't there. And when they remade it so that Kawazu was there, you can definitely feel it.
Yes.
too.
Yes. That's how people talk. That's how people always talk about the game.
Yeah.
Presumably, still a good video game though.
It is. I will always love that game's opening cutscene and premise being, hey, there's a big faucet in the sky. It won't turn off. If we don't do something, the world will flood. It's a problem.
That reminds me, I want to play the new HD versions of Dragon Quest 1 to 3, but also I want to play the Game Boy versions.
I have a lot of fondness for the Game Boy versions. I do think... Oh, that's funny. The problem with the Game Boy versions is that the script limitations are actually kind of rough now that I'm more familiar with the other version. Like, I didn't mind them when I was a kid, because, like, you know, I just had the Game Boy versions and I had fun.
Here's...
But...
Yeah, my thing is, like, it wouldn't be, like, a case of one or the other. It'd be like, well, if I'm playing both, then, like, the script isn't really an issue for the Game Boy version in that case.
No. Those Super Famicom versions are really fun.
I feel like, for me, like, the HD 2D version is, like, replacing the Super Famicom version.
No, that makes sense. I really wish they did 1 and 2 before they did 3. It's so annoying.
Yeah,
I get why...
You know,
but
it's like
annoying.
the chronology thing and the popularity thing, but I agree with you. It's like, well, yeah, I'm going to wait until 1 and 2 are out to play those first.
Yeah, and like you really, if it's your first time, I really do think you should play 1 and 2 before you play 3. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a little bit of a Dragon Quest 2 hater. There may be a reason I Let's Play Dragon Quest 1 and haven't gotten around to 2 yet. This has also put me in the awkward position where if I do Let's Play Dragon Quest 2, I'm like, well, I might as well replay 1 in HD. Because why not?
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that remake is going to allow you to just start with 2, but who knows?
Oh yeah, I assume they're like just 2 games on the same package.
I would hope so. But who knows? Who knows?
I need to play Live Alive and Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger is a game that I think on paper, I'm like, I get why this is a masterpiece. I think it was maybe one of the best paced JRPGs I've ever played. I do not have the affection for it that a lot of people do. Like, on paper, I think it's a very great game. But, like, I don't have the emotional attachment to it that a lot of people
That's
have.
fine. For me, it's like, I feel like it's just like, doing homework.
Yeah. No.
Eat your vegetables.
Chrono Trigger walked so Chrono Cross could run. Is my hot take.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. I want to do Trigger as well, so I can do Cross.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to do Sukabon?
Sure. Oh, I started playing Void Stranger too.
I've been meaning to get to Void Stranger recently. Is there any reason that you were prompted to?
My friend Jake likes it a lot, and he was like, "You should really play Void Stranger." And then I was bored one night, and I started playing Void Stranger.
Yeah, so I tried playing it a couple of years ago because it was like,
is it that
Zero
old?
Ranger devs. 1 or 2 years old.
Wow. Okay. I need to play Zero Ranger too. I know people really like that game.
But like I got like intimidated because it's a game where it's like it's like tantalizing you with doing the puzzle perfectly.
Yeah.
And also the puzzles are hard, and also it's like, well, it saves your mistakes so you can't redo them. And I'm like,
no, I'm just leaning all the way in on this first playthrough. I don't give a fuck if I do it wrong, and then I'll do it.
Yeah, I guess I was just like, I don't know what the plan is here, but I guess like if it's fuck it, we ball, I'll just do it.
Yeah, I think the game was very deliberately made for you to be like, oh, don't worry about it, and if you really want to be a sicko with the perfect run later, you always can redo it.
Okay, that's encouraging then. Maybe I'll start over a new save because it's been a while.
Yeah,
it's finally. But like, yeah, it's also like the Let's Player I have subscribed to on YouTube has been playing it. I'm like, well, now I want to. I haven't been able to watch it because I don't want to be spoiled. But
after this puzzle, I will probably ask that we call it because it's been about 2 hours, and the sun is coming through my blinds directly into my eyeballs, and I'm worried about getting a headache.
Yeah, that's fine. I figure we're like now's like we made progress. We're gonna presumably get to a next plot point soon, just from like talking to Peony.
Do you need to push that one to the left?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Yeah. Also, I gotta watch more 2 episodes of Ultraman. Just see, what are the puzzles we got?
Well, see, we can't move
Oh, wait,
this
no.
one up at all. I think that you need to have where we put it. Because I don't think moving that to the left is going to be a good use.
No, no, no.
Oh, wait, no, yeah,
definitely not.
I see. Okay, yeah, now keep it there, actually. You're right.
Keep it there for now?
Keep it there because we're going to need to push it to cover that ledge to the upper left so that we can get to that top chest.
Yeah.
I think this one, you need to pull it back to where it was and then use it to create a bridge. I think we need it at that bottommost tile so that we can actually push things on top of it.
So basically where it was originally.
I don't remember where it was, but yeah, down one. And then I think we need to push it left to create a bridge. And that lets us go here. Move this all the way back for now.
Oh yeah, we can do that now.
Pull it, and then we can just keep it there for now, exactly. And grab that chest.
Exactly. As I do. Exactly. Strange mark!
Push that one up one for now. Yeah, okay, now let's explore.
Leave it there for now.
Do we... So there's only the 3 chests, right?
Just looking around, lay of the land. We got 1 chest, yes.
We got 1 chest, and those are the only other 2 chests?
Yes.
Don't push that one yet.
Yes.
Just to be
but,
safe. Oh, okay. No, this is easy. So that top chair, we need to pull this one down.
Yes.
And then you put that in the middle.
In the middle?
Yeah, so that we can go around from the other end.
I was just thinking like a...
No.
No?
No. So push it to the right, because we're going to need to take this one all the way over to the left.
Yeah.
So like what I'm saying is, okay, push that one to the right.
This one?
Yes. And now go back down and pull it. And I think... And then push it down to the bottom. I think we need to take this over to the leftmost part. But we need to figure out what to do with this one first.
Yeah.
Wait, can you get around any other way from here? Or not yet?
Just from here.
Ooh, okay, so...
Feels like ideally we just need one here. But maybe there's a reason there's a second one here.
That's kind of what I'm wondering. Wait. Is there any way for you to... do we have, like, a full circle? Can we go around both ways?
Now we can, because of that one barrel at the bottom on the ground there.
But this does... Okay, so I see what we need to do, I think.
Okay.
So push... So that barrel in the top left we have currently teetering on the edge.
Yeah.
Well, okay, first, okay. So that, I think, needs to go 2 spaces to the right of where you are, and then we push it down.
So here?
Yeah. Oh, but fuck, how do we push it? Oh, well, yeah, so we push it that way. And then you move that to the right. So that we can walk back.
Yeah.
And then I think, yeah, and then... I think this is what we need to do? Yeah.
And then we just need the one with another one over on this side.
Yeah, exactly. think we did this right.
I mean, we're getting all the chests, right? Like,
I think so. I mean, there's only the 3.
I don't know why we need that other barrel. To be honest.
I think it was just in the way so that we had to move it for something else. I don't actually know. And then we gotta... Well, you're gonna be... Yeah, so you gotta... Yeah.
People, the kids love Sokoban.
True. There we go. Nailed it.
Presumably this is one of the earlier ones we got, probably.
You know what? That's right. This is probably a really early one that we missed, considering that reward. Okay, sure. Alright, let's save
Okay,
and skedaddle on
You
out of here.
hold on, wait.
Oh, you changed the title?
There we go. Proper princess. Yes. You're still Father Poneglyph. Where's the one where he's like, I am no longer a misogynist?
He's not committed yet. He still needs to heal. Alright, let's save.
Yeah. Like,
Oh,
this
that was
is,
a good 2 hours of progress.
Yeah, we made good progress. Again, our ass kicked by Unicorn.
And we still won first attempt. That's what matters.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We need to remember next time. Actually, you know what? Before we go, the first thing I want to do. I forgot. The reason I wanted to go in there was because I thought there would be potions, but there wasn't.
Oh,
It's fine.
We'll just go back. We'll remember.
We'll go next time.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. It was good.
Thanks for coming. Hopefully, we'll be able to, now that my school's done, we could ideally play this a bit more.
Yeah.
And get it done, because I want this done by this year for sure.
Yeah.
No more.
I feel like we're on good pace to do
Yeah.
that. So.
It's just, it's just like I didn't mean for it to.
Yeah.
I didn't mean things to get this long, but my life was crazy.
All right. See you, everyone.
See you, everyone.